Okay. Let me raise this up a little bit. Get some adjusting. That's not going to block, right? Okay. First of all, we're back, right? I need to start doing these a little bit more often, but first of all, I'd like to say welcome back. You are now King. Okay, guys, welcome back. You are now tuned in to the KingJedi podcast, and I'm your host, Corey. And welcome to episode 3. First of all, we got to do the honors. As you can clearly tell from my haircut and my shave, we are still sheltered in place. So yeah, do not judge my family. What are we drinking? We're drinking Modern Times beer. I think the last episode was a little heavy, so this time I wanted to be a little bit more lighthearted. So, what better way than a nice little beer? Cheers. That's actually pretty good. First of all, let me start off with saying that this specific episode is a different one. Okay, this might make a few people mad, but I think it's an interesting topic, right? I want to talk about aliens and angels. Okay. So here it is. Actually, you know what's interesting? My brother who watches this podcast, he actually told me it would be smart for me to actually give you a little bit of my background about who I am to kind of explain what my beliefs are at this point about this topic. Okay, first I think it makes sense for me to pretty much explain my background of who I am and my upbringing, okay? I was raised in a very religious background, like very religious. Religious as in every morning we would pray before going to school. Every morning we would be anointed with oil on our forehead to protect us from evil spirits, right? My sister, they actually for many, many years could not wear skirts that went above their knee. Usually you were like in between like their lower calf or closer to their ankle, right? No parties, no movies, like super religious. And if you kind of want to know why, my father's a pastor, which means I am a PK. Oh, what's a PK? A PK is actually a pastor's kid. So my father had a church, and I was a pastor's kid. So I was raised into a super religious family. What's interesting is, okay, just to give you guys a scope of how religious we were, we attended church on average about 4 to 5 times a week. 4 to 5 times a week. So pretty much, obviously, everyone goes to church on Sunday, right? Everyone attends church on Sunday, right? We had Sunday school early in the morning. Then we had regular service, and sometimes we have a late night service, and that's just on Sunday. So 3 services on a Sunday. So we would Sunday school, get some food or get a snack, come back for church, eat dinner, and then come back. Monday, we would have church on Monday. I think that was YPWW, Young People Willing Workers. Then I think on Tuesday, there was a Tuesday night service. We didn't have a Wednesday night service, but there was a Thursday night service, which was YWCC, which is Young Women Christian Council. And then I think Friday night was a service. Saturday we had choir rehearsal, and then we repeat the entire cycle again come Sunday. So yeah, very, very religious family. Okay. And from that religious family, you have to understand that my father, he was a theologian. So pretty much he went to school, he went to seminary school to become a pastor. So what makes that important is the fact that in our house, we had religious text, pretty much anything you can imagine. There was probably, of course, there was the King James version of the Bible. There was the Apocrypha. There was the Living Word. There was probably like the Torah in there. Just everything inside, anything that was a religious text was probably in my dad's study, right? Now, here's a crazy thing. My father also had a book called the Book of Enoch. Now, this is the tricky part. The Book of Enoch was pretty much the story of a man who had such a close relationship with God that it explained the fall of the angels from heaven. So pretty much really, really quick. Inside of that, there was a war between the angels and God. And a third of heaven fell down to the earth, right? A third of heaven fell down to the earth and they were cast down because they lost the fight with God. Obviously, you're going to lose a fight with God, right? And what happened was in the earth, right? After the war was over, these angels, the reason why the fight happened was because, I could be wrong. The reason why the fight happened was the angels had made a pact that they want to go to the earth and have sex with the women on earth. It's very weird, right? Why would a angelic being want to fornicate? But anyway, they wanted to do that. So they started messing around and they had babies. When God found out, he was displeased, obviously, like you guys are like weirdos, started having babies, and these babies became giants. Now go back to my dad. I'm reading the Book of Enoch and I'm reading all this stuff. And I said, Dad, this book says that there were giants. And my dad said, he was like, your mind at your young age, I had to be like maybe 12. He said, at your young age, you can't really comprehend that. You should focus completely on the Bible. So what happens? Of course, the second he tells me I shouldn't read something at 11, 12 years old, of course, I'm going to start looking into that. So this book is saying that there were giants, there were dragons, there were like these beings on the planet. So of course, I'm going to be like, what the fuck is going on? I need to know about this, right? Now, here's the tricky part, right? Here's the tricky part. This story of God and angelic beings, right? The angels that worship and praise God, right? This story is across all religions, right? Judaism, heck, I think even Buddhism, Islam, just across the board, you have a story of a war that happened to where the angels, good angels, fought with God, were cast down, and they became bad, right? This is a difficult one. Because then I started thinking, okay, so I started reading deeper into the text, right? And when you realize that there are actually levels of angels. You have archangels, you have these type of angels, angels with 4 wings. You have all these different types, right? So you have all these different types of angels. I'm just like, what is an angel? Like, what is an angel? How are they created? What's the backstory? Like, How did they get to that point? How do you judge the hierarchy of where you are in the angels, right? Even if you think about the story of Jacob's ladder, right? I'm sorry, I'm getting really religious, right? Jacob's ladder, when he was in his dream and he was climbing up the ladder, there was rings where it was like levels of different beings going up until and each ring or each level had different types of angels. Almost like you're stepping into he was probably ascending into different dimensions. But anyway, okay, so here's a question that I have for you guys. Are angels aliens? Now, keep in mind, I did say that there were a whole bunch of different types of angels. I'm not saying are aliens angels. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in the Bible, if you believe the Bible, let's just take this as a premise that you believe the text of the Bible. Are angels aliens? But then I started thinking, are we aliens? So check this out. Okay. If you have the Bible has a beginning and an end, right? So let's just say right now we have all this stuff going on, COVID-19, shit like that, right? Let's just say we are in chapter 2 of Revelations. And at some point, we are going to, there'll be pestilence of 4 horsemen's going to come, right? And then all of a sudden, 144,000 will be caught up to meet him in the air, right? There'll be the 7 years of tribulation. And then God will come and step on the head of the snake, which is Satan. And there'll be a new heaven and new earth, and all things will be passed away, right? So now we're in heaven. Are we angels? Do we become angels now? And if that is the case, let's just say we do go there, right? Let's just say that those angels that are up there right now, right, by his side, were just like us at one point, and they became angels, and now they have the luxury of staying in heaven. And God says, you know what? New heaven, old earth will pass away. That's our earth that we're in right now. And the new earth and the new heaven, right? The new earth and the new heaven is a whole new group of human beings that have to go through the same thing to see if they can make it to become angels. Okay. Now, I will be honest with you. I was very high when I came up with this idea. Very high. Very high. But yeah, what if that's the case? Okay, speaking of aliens, okay, let's just shift, okay? I got really religious really fast, okay? Let's just shift right now. I want you to comment below. Do you believe in aliens? Right? Do you believe in aliens? And if you do believe in aliens, have you ever had an experience that made you believe that aliens were real? Whether it's a dream, did you see a UFO? Did you have an encounter? Do you believe in aliens? Here's a funny thing that we got to talk about. I think that, okay, I've only had 2 episodes, right? One that I broke up. Sorry about that. One that I broke up into a whole bunch of different pieces. But I had one that was a whole. In one of those episodes, I told you guys that the United States government was going to admit, no, I didn't say that. I said that we will have an alien sighting or something with aliens will happen this year. And sure enough, blah, 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 sure enough, the Pentagon declassifies video with UFOs. Listen. You can't make this up. You cannot make this shit up. In the midst of all of this, they release actual footage from the United States military about UFOs. And shit is so crazy, we are not even engaging in it. That should be probably the number one thing that every human being is talking about, not COVID, not Trump talking about injecting. We should be talking about motherfucking aliens. They release radar footage, all this stuff. Like, I don't know. Well, I don't know what you're going to say. At some point, the one thing I did realize about human beings, the one thing that we're really good at is whenever our foundation of reality, whenever the foundation of our reality can be possibly be shifted or moved, we put our head directly in the sand. And yo, mark my words, this is going to sound completely crazy. Mark my words, there will be a mass UFO sighting. I said it again. This is going to be interesting because then everybody's going to say blue beam. But anyway, I don't know. I'm jumping a whole lot with stuff that you guys might not know, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a lot of things that I'm saying that I think that you should know right here to the right, or I'll put links down, whatever. My question to you is, we can go into the pyramids. Who the fuck built the pyramids? Right? You got those slabs of stone that were brought up back in those days. Even to this day, we couldn't logistically build the pyramids with the technology that we have right now. Like, that shit is crazy. How about the heads? The heads on Easter Island. How do you explain that? It's absolutely psycho. Like, I can't even wrap my head around how that even came to be. And then there's like a quarry of stones, right? These monolithic stones, these humongous stones that are like a gazillion tons. I think that's the exact number. A gazillion tons. Cut in precision with fucking, like, I don't understand. Of course, you got Stonehenge, you got a whole bunch of different stuff. Aliens have to exist. Think about this right here. Right now, we're in the Goldilocks zone. Goldilocks zone means the Earth is perfectly placed, right? Here's the sun. The Earth is in the zone to where it's not too hot, it's not too cold, and to where water can exist, and the fact that fungus, virus, and things can kind of mix compounds to sprout life, right? To where life can actually thrive. The universe is fucking infinite. There's no way that we can think that there are not countless, like hundreds of trillions of other planets that sit in the Goldilocks zone as well. There's no way, right? Like, that's logically thinking, right? I think that what happened was NASA took a picture of a dark square in space where no stars were at. And they zoomed in and they found hundreds and millions of galaxies inside of that little square. Just to give you an idea, we can't even fathom how many planets, right? So it has to be other life out there. It has to be other life out there. I mean, some of them might be fucking a planet full of squid, right? Or octopus, or fucking cats with fedoras. I don't know. I keep leaning towards Rick and Morty, right? Rick and Morty is, I think Rick and Morty is probably one of the most intelligent cartoons that depicts what really existence is really like. I don't want to be that guy, but yeah, I kind of believe that. But yeah, it is Like, it's pretty wild. Okay. Do I have a story? Do I have an alien story? Yes, I do. Okay. I'll tell you a story. I was once, damn, I feel bad because I'm going to say I was high. But yes, I was like 22 years old, 23 years old. I was in Atlanta, drinking, smoking high. And we were sitting down, and me and someone was on top of a rooftop, and we saw a shooting star. He's like, oh shit, a shooting star, make a wish, right? That makes sense, right? You see a shooting star, make a wish. We're sitting there, we see the shooting star, and before we can even make a wish, the star goes and just zips completely in a different direction. You not that high, Whitney. I was not that high. I wasn't that high. The person saw it and we were just like, what the fuck is going on? We both saw it. We looked at each other. We laughed and we were just like, okay. We just saw a UFO. The distance, where was that? The light and the speed that it dipped, cut, and shot out was not anything. There's no airplane. It's very weird. It's very weird. Should I put links in the bottom of aliens? Like UFOs? Like, I don't know. That shit is wild. So many different options of what shit could be. But wait, like going back to angels, I really think that, okay, first of all, remove the concept that an alien is something so wild, right? Just remove that concept. Because if you think about it, we are aliens. We're sending probes. We're sending probes to Mars. We went to the moon. Didn't go back, which is very weird. Very, very weird. Nor did any other. Well, no, that's not true. China sent a ship to the dark side of the moon. It kind of shocked me, but I guess they wanted to, like be the first ones to do that. So let's just say this, right? So if we send probes, we have a United States Space Station, International Space Station, right? To where we go back and forth and we send stuff all the way out and we're shooting shit out to like Pluto. We're sending probes around Saturn and Pluto, right? And crashing in. Why would it be so strange that another intelligent life form that can't get to us would also be sending probes to us, right? That makes sense. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. And then who's also to say that the probes that they're sending, so for example, we're sending stuff to like different planets, right? Nothing's on the planet. But let's just say that they're in a different dimension and I don't know. I'm getting crazy. Yeah, shit's wild, man. I think I deserve another one, right? I'm trying not to talk about COVID. Should I grow a beard? Nah, I'm not gonna grow a beard. It's too hot. Here's an alien question for you. Okay? It's a good alien question. Let's just say we figured out the planet. No more police brutality, no more racism, no more war. We figured out how to coexist with the planet completely peacefully. Healthy, we're growing. We understand how to take care of the universe as a whole with nothing but love, right? Let's just say that's the case. Let's just say you send a ship, right? A United States ship to a planet. We are interplanetary beings. and we send a ship to a planet just like Earth with humanoids that look just like us. And you look down and you see, let's just say the world leaders, Netanyahu, Trump, Kim Jong-un, Putin. You see all of Boris, you see all these people, you see the war, you see the violence, you see all this stuff going on. Would you land and make contact? Be honest. We are finally at peace. We figured out absolutely everything. We cleaned up the nuclear shit. Fish are happy. Vegans are happy. We're just on some really cool shit. Would you feel safe landing and talking to a world leader to help the planet? Would you feel safe bringing your people down to that planet? I don't know. I think about that question a lot. It's kind of like, right now, if I don't want aliens to come, I'd be embarrassed. I'd be fucking embarrassed if aliens came down and spoke to our world leader. World leaders. We don't got our shit together. I really hope that we get to a point to where we figure it out. But I think with this, like what's going on right now, I really don't think that as a human race, I don't think as a human race we're sustainable at this moment. Like, I don't know. I really would hope so. I mean, I just imagine aliens being in a spaceship be like, I ain't fucking with them. I'm not fucking with them. I'm not fucking with them niggas. Nah, you go down there. I'm not going down there. You go down there. You know what? There's also a concept called the Fermi paradox. Okay, let me explain what that is. The Fermi paradox is pretty simple, right? Actually, it's not simple. Fermi paradox pretty much asks the question, okay, you look at us on Earth and it's teeming with life. You got plants, you got rodents, you got insects, you got bugs, you got fucking rabbits, you got turtles, human beings, orangutans, everything, right? Lions, tigers, and bear, oh my, right? So the question is, where the fuck is all the other life everywhere else, right? All these other spots, all these other planets, like where are they at? Me personally, I just think that our sight isn't strong enough to see far enough yet. We're just like, we don't see life. Bitch, you can't see the next solar system over. You can't even look into the closest solar system over, right? So how can you say that there's not a lot of life when you're just in your small little cell, right? You're in your cell walls. Anyway, I digress. But anyway, they're saying that since we have so much life, why isn't the rest of the universe teeming with life, right? So this is where the concept of the Fermi paradox comes in, right? Fermi paradox is saying that at some point, life is simple. Or if life is simple, then all of these planets pretty much had life. Not all the planets, but life is easy. But what happens is they have these staggered stairs thing, right? To where you get to single cell, multi-cell organisms. Then you come down to some amphibious kind of like tadpole type shit. It spreads out into some other shit to where you have totally different hierarchies of shit. Then we start getting conscious. We start thinking and moving around and creating tools, right? And then from there we start developing culture and a whole lot of other different things. But at some point, something happens to where there is a great wall that we either get over or we hit that wall and we never make it past. All living beings. It's called the Fermi paradox, right? So let's just say that the reason why we don't see any more life, or we don't see a lot of life that we can interact with, is because they have hit that wall. Now, that wall could be a lot of things. That wall could be a virus. Okay. The wall could be a virus, right? The wall can be like you have a living being, the being's moving around, somebody eats a bat, and it wipes out the entire human population. Okay? That's not what I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm just saying like a virus can come and mutate and wipe out, right? Because who's to say that the virus life is more important than the human race, right? It's life. Or roaches or bats or like some type of shit. Smallpox, the Black Plague, bubonic plague, all that shit. Or science destroys us. Our own technology destroys us. So let's just use nuclear power, nuclear energy. We create the atomic bomb. We start selling it because we're greedy. We start selling to all these different nations. Someone loses their mind, hits a button, and we eradicate ourselves. Let's just say that has happened an infinite amount of times. We step into science and technology, and every being on every planet destroys themselves with either virus or nuclear warfare. That's two, right? Or let's just say we don't do that. We find peace. And we're cool and we're just like, hey, we all need to like get along. Like, if not, the entire race will die. But it's too late. And I'm going to tell you why. Nuclear power has how do you even explain it? It has a half-life. So what happens is we build these nuclear power plants that cannot be contained. So we build all these walls to protect the nuclear energy from imploding on itself and wiping out of all of humanity. It starts poisoning the fish. It starts poisoning humanity. It gets into the air. It fucks with the ozone. We all die. Because we built all this stuff, all these nuclear power plants that we thought were fucking incredible for power. Nuclear family, this is the way to go, right? And then we realized that, it kills us. We either have to shoot it up into space, bury it, or we're all going to die. We figure it out too late and we all die. I think that what it is I think that most beings, I think the Fermi paradox is the fact that we as a race push science and innovation ahead of our knowledge. And that's what's happening to all of these different. This is the reason why there's a great wall that most living beings never make it past. And think about it. We're literally doing it right now. There's literally people. Listen, I believe in your right to protest and fight. There are literally people going to City Hall with assault rifles standing in front of police, agitating and screaming and hollering, everyone with guns. I think I seen someone, where was it at? Was it Michigan? Anybody from Michigan, please comment below. But I think it was in Michigan to where people were marching and protesting while this COVID shit was going on with no masks, scream. Oh, wait a minute. There's this one guy who had a sign that said "cough in my face." I promise you, I'll post it. But there were actually kids around while people were walking around. People had their kids out with militia walking around with their guns out. I don't know. It's kind of fucking wild. I gotta figure this shit out. This shit is really wild. It just appears as though this is what I think. I think that in order for us to make it over the Great Wall, right? Fermi paradox, right? We're at the spot to where like, okay, we can really elevate, jump the wall, and become the aliens, right? We can become something great as beings, but we have to get past this wall. In order to get past this wall, we need something crazy to unite us, right? We need something crazy to unite us. Maybe that's what the COVID is. Maybe the COVID is to let us know that anyone can die. This shit attacks every single human being, right? Absolutely every single human being. We need to come together and figure out how to attack this and figure out what the new normal is, right? New normal. That's the shit you've been seeing around. But I don't think that's gonna fucking work. Wait a minute. I got a drink on this one. Hold on a second. What if we are ready to elevate to the next level and the aliens, right? The aliens introduce this to us, this COVID-19 to us, to see if we are ready for the next level. What if they have introduced every single major catastrophic Spanish flu, bubonic plague, which is the same thing, Black Death, smallpox. Like, what if all of these viruses were introduced from aliens to see if we have figured out how to survive and elevate to the next level? I don't know. I just don't think that I don't know. I don't want to say what I really want to say, because I'm going to sound like insensitive and I'm going to sound like a piece of shit. I don't want to say what I really want to say, so I'm not going to say it. Maybe after I drink some more beer, I'll say it. I promise you, I got so many different people I'm going to interview and bring on this podcast. It's not going to be about COVID. It's not going to be about aliens and dark shit. I really got some really good guests coming up. I promise you. It's just, this shit has been on my mind. The Pentagon released footage of UFOs. Yeah, let me say it one more time. The Pentagon released footage of UFOs. Like, how can you not? I don't know. That just, it kind of worries me. It kind of worries me. What worries me is the United States government, who covers up everything, released footage of real UFOs. I have not gotten one phone call be like, did you see this? A virus. What would be dope is from that release, they see that there wasn't like a panic from them doing that. A shelter in place is a panic. Shelter in place is like, yo, you can't leave your house. If you leave your house, here's $1,000 fine, or here's a $500 fine, right? to human beings, you guys consider, not you guys, I'm not attacking you guys, but you consider that a panic as opposed to there is a highly intelligent being flying over American airspace and you're okay with it. You're like, whatever. Which leads me to believe that the human mind is a computer and programmable. Because for some reason, even though you see radar and you hear the accounts and there's names, no one's really, really delving into it. I will tell you one thing. Joe Rogan did I think he had someone and they were discussing the whole thing about the UFOs. But I gotta watch it. I haven't watched it yet. I've definitely gotta check that out. But that shit is fucking wild, man. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. But I don't know. I think the main thing that we have to do as human beings, we have to be capable of chewing bubblegum and taking a shit. wait, what's the thing? Walking and chewing bubblegum. As human beings, we have to be able to walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. We have to. As a matter of fact, I think that's part of our enlightenment. We have to be able to look at something and be like, okay, I know this is going on, but guess what? This is on fire. So let me just focus on this as well. Right? You can't be like, yo, Jenny, there's the UFO. Fuck that. I need to get out the house. Bitch, you can do both. Bitch, you can talk about not being able to, like, you can talk about 5G, which I don't know what the fuck that is. But anyway, like, you can talk about 5G, but there's also a UFO right here. And you also have to feed your baby. You should be able to fucking multitask, right? I don't know. That shit is fucking wild. I need to shave. I know. I fucking know. Probably not gonna get to those two. But yeah. Very interesting. I just think that for some reason there was a purpose for them to release UFOs footage now. All this shit is going on. If it was any other president and that president was losing, or they had fear that they were going to lose the next election, you wouldn't pull out aliens, right? You wouldn't release real footage. It's not like he had some CGI shit. It's not like he had some CGI shit. He released real military Pentagon footage of some shit. And then okay, let me say this again. It also warrants the question, is America safe? Think about this right here. If that footage is correct, then there is some type of technology, some type of craft that is entering into United States airspace, right? That we can't catch or control. As an American, are you not uncomfortable that there's a craft flying in and out of American airspace that our military can't stop or contain? That's the question you should be asking. It's fucking crazy. Wait a minute. Thank God for the beer. I want you to listen to this right here. There was a mass sighting of UFOs inside America. Actually, in my backyard. I think it was Santa Monica. It was definitely California. I think it was Santa Monica. I think it was called the Battle of LA. Battle of LA, I think that what happened around World War One, right? Let me tell you this story about the Battle of LA. There's a newspaper article that shows a whole bunch of lights shooting up at a specific target, right? Battle of LA. So what happened was, I think that we were at war with Germany. I think we was at war with Germany, right? And I think that they had some technology or they had some planes, whatever. And we had just did it. Either they did an attack on us, we did attack on them. So we're waiting on them to attack us. What happened was I think it was five crafts hit the radar. And those had to be 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. Like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. And what happened was we were alerted about these crafts that hit American airspace from the ocean. It might have came out from like Canada and Antarctica, but well, I don't know. I'll put the information right here to correct myself. But anyway, these crafts came down. What we did was we scrambled out planes and we hit lights out to hit these crafts. And we started shooting artillery at these crafts. It was so crazy that we were shooting artillery over actual residences, right? Because it was on the coast. So we had military bases around and we were shooting at these crafts. If I'm not mistaken, we were shooting at these crafts for at least from like 1 o'clock in the morning to like 4 o'clock in the morning. It's like 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours of just like, From what I hear, it was metallic objects that were sitting, they were moving over and they stopped. Since we didn't know what was going on and we were currently at war with I think it was Germany. We were currently at war with Germany. We just started dumping. Right? Someone took a picture of these spotlights, these ground to aerial spotlights, focusing in on a target. And we dumped. People who actually were told the story that night said all they felt were shells hitting the ground and around their neighborhoods, whatever, right? As they shot for 3 to 4 hours, whatever they were doing direct hits, nothing ever fell. The actual craft that they were hitting never fell. Never fell. So I think that, I'm guessing this is a story. Craft is gone. It leaves. And sure enough, if you know anything about Area 51, here's an explanation. If you know anything about Area 51, when they said that there was a crash, it was a newspaper article and radio things and interviews. They said that they recovered an actual alien ship and there were some bodies on the ship and whatever. And then later on, the United States government recanted that statement and said that it was what? A weather balloon, right? After the Battle of LA, which is actually a real thing, where people was talking about like these ships that were being shot and they never moved, they never went down. There's 5 ships, right? At the end of it, when they tried to explain what happened, they said it was a fucking weather balloon. Same shit. I don't know. Question is really simple, right? Question is very simple. Do you believe in aliens? Right? And then tying in religion, the religious script with what's going on right now. I really wonder if what's going to happen, because this almost feels like we're definitely in a simulation. I definitely feel that what's going to happen is we are going to get a visitation, a realization. Something is going to shift our paradigm of what we actually believe, what all this shit is, what reality really is. I think we're really about to find that shit out. And once we do, it's going to be a connection between religion and science. I think it's going to be a real shit between religion and science. I thought it was going to be like an archaeological dig or some shit, but what's probably going to happen is we're going to get alien visitation, which I don't think that we're mentally ready for because we're fucking idiots. Human beings are fucking idiots. I think the next safest thing for us to experience would be a mass UFO sighting. There's going to be a mass UFO sighting. And I think that is going to be the next shift into our growth as human beings. I really believe that. Yeah, I truly believe that. I mean, what would that shit look like? I don't know. Please listen. Let me know if you have had you've seen a UFO, you've seen an alien. Have you seen an angel? Some people have seen fucking angels. But yeah. There's a lot more shit I want to go into, but I got to fill you guys out. I don't want to get super duper deep and you guys are just like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? But yeah, that's my background. It's important to me because I come from a religious background and I understand what that is. I understand what religion is as it compared to science, right? But it's very interesting. It is very interesting. I just want to make sure, and I think that what it comes down to, even jumping back to the Fermi paradox, right, is who's to say that if we were to, the reason why you don't cross that Great Wall is because your mind isn't prepared. Your chakras aren't lined up. You're not in a basic mindset. You're not in like the proper mindset in order to accept information and go from there. I don't know. Good question. If let's just say that we were to get a UFO visitation and a humanoid, a being, came out of that, would you be prepared for that mentally? Like, would you be prepared to see a real alien? I think about that shit a lot. Like, could I physically see an alien? So now I got to wrap my head around whether or not where they come from. They're obviously smarter than us. So are they dangerous? Do they want to hurt us? What they look like, the way they walk, the way they move. Can my mind take it? Will I lose my mind? Will I go crazy? Will I commit suicide? I'm not doing none of that. But it's just like, if you were to see a physical alien, if aliens were to land on the planet right now, what the fuck would you do? Because you see all these movies, right? You see all these movies where people sell their homes, they lose their mind, they start worshiping all these fucking UFOs. What would you do if alien contact happened this year? What would you do? No, actually, you know what? I know a lot of people do clickbait. A lot of people do like a whole lot of people are trying to get people to interact on their page or the website. Fuck that. This is episode number 3, okay? I'm not going to get any traction for like a million episodes, right? So I want you to be honest. If aliens touch down, you turn on CNN and you see a ship and you see some weird thing come out of it, what the fuck will you do? Are you going back to work? Are you still homeschooling your kid? Are you still listening to D Nice DJ? Like, what are you doing? Are you getting closer to God? Are you pulling away from God? Are you like, religion is fake? Like, what are you going to do? That's the question. That's the question. Sometimes I think, okay, hear me out. Hear me out. Sometimes I think that COVID-19, any weird thing that happens, is only to prepare us for the next paradigm shift. Right? What if the Fermi paradox is knowing that life exists outside of you and that you're not important? Very deep. I know I gotta shave. I know. Listen. That's the question. I always think about that. Every single movie about aliens is based around what the fuck would you do if aliens were to make contact? You know what'd be funny? You know what'd be funny if aliens come down, they make contact, they get down, they have there's like a press conference. There's like, we want to speak to your leaders. They sit down. You have all the top leaders from all the company. I mean, all the continents, right? All the major fucking countries. They come down. Everyone says their thing. People are trying to like outdo each other, right? And then the aliens look around and be like, nah. Just leave. That would be fucking incredible. If they looked at us like, y'all not ready, and just leave. That actually would be very fucking dope if that was the case. That would be dope if that was the case. Because that would mean that there would be a criteria in order to be a part of the intergalactic family. And yo, we're worried. Think about this. We're worried about shitty aliens that are trying to like, I'll say we're worried. You're not worried because you don't think about this. But anyway, I would think that we would be worried that aliens would come down here to take advantage of us and to enslave us and do whatever. But if we were interplanetary, we would be those shitty aliens. Tell me that I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. If any one of us was to come across an entire planet with resources, gold, plutonium, whatever, you don't think that we would turn into motherfucking Avatar? You don't think that? You don't think that capitalism would jump into interplanetary travel? That shit is wild. That shit is wild. Right now, I'm thinking about whether or not I should open up a third can. I think 2's enough. I don't know. But now I'm warming up and I'm feeling good. It's so fucking interesting, man. It's just like, what is it that we need to do as a human race to be prepared and ready for the next phase? Or did we hit that great wall? Anyway, this is a little bit rougher, right? I had some ideas. This is going to be, I'm going to edit the fuck out of this motherfucker. I'm going to edit the fuck out of this motherfucker. Anyway, I need a haircut. And first of all, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. This is episode number 3. Completely different from the first and second episode. Yeah, this is going to be, I kind of like this. So like what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start having a phone number where you guys can call in and ask questions. I'm going to make sure I have like what we're going to talk about in advance for the questions of what it is. But yeah, super excited. Thank you for tuning in. I love you guys a bunch, and make sure you join the website. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you guys very much. I'm lit as fuck. Episode number 3. King Jedi. Bang bang.